days and hours of unrest by students, by protesters. Nothing really substantial has come out. CBI has taken over that inquiry. But as far as these details emerging from Badlapur right now, some very hard details to digest. 4-year-old girls, really raped. Some are saying, well, that is of course the allegation. These were 2 minor girls. They were school-going girls. And those details, of course, that you have shared with our viewers are really heartbreaking, Sudha.
Shweta, what really first thing which for me is a big red flag among several others is that what are males, men? I am sure, this is not indicting the men as such, I'm just saying that if you are, there are, like you said, they're not even women, these are little children. I'm sure that they were not verified as to where they come from. Their behavior is not under the scanner because, pretty much sexual predators reveal some deviant behavior, sometime or the other. Don't you think that we are very blasé about these things? Hire anyone as long as the work goes on.
I think what's surprising to me, Sudha, right now, and I think what also needs to have a little more focus is who are these people who are actually hiring in the administration who are looking into these cases. So I'm not just talking about a point of view of investigation, but also remember these were school-going girls. So who are we hiring around us as school principals, as teachers, as drivers? Are they being verified? So in Kolkata case, for that matter, the accused was a passerby. He visited the hospital 4 times, and it was in his 4th attempt that he actually molested that young girl. So 4 times he was allowed to come in and go out without anyone really intervening and trying to understand why this man is moving about, coming in and out. So, absolutely no focus on his movement, and nobody was able to catch him. So that's number one. Number two, in this case, I think it's also important to verify for us who are these people that we are actually employing, who are these people who we are, giving the custody of our young girls to. Can these people be trusted? Have they been verified? Have there been enough background checks? I think more of those questions we need to ask. And I see the kind of outrage that you're seeing in, Maharashtra right now, those visuals where trains have been stopped, go on to tell you how angry people are by these, constantly occurring events where monstrosity is at clear display. You don't have to be a young person or an old person or a middle-aged woman or a woman at night out on the streets. You can just be a young girl in school and you happen to meet the same fate. So it's actually the state of women's safety in India which is currently at question to me.
Absolutely, very, very well said. And but look at the other side of the story, which is, the reason of it may not be very pleasant, but the outcome seems to be where people are out on the streets. So, all that Andolan GV and you are protesting all the time, that comes to naught, because I think now the country is rising, because it's not just the case of one's own daughter or sister or wife. It now is about, the entire female population, and particularly with us adults who have to be safe in the workforce. So do you think you see a kind of a ray of hope when you have protests like this? Look at Kolkata, artists, painters, football players. East Bengal and Mohan Bagan came outside, to protest. Doctors, engineers. It's chock-a-block. So that's something which is really emerging. Would you agree, Shweta Kothari?
It is emerging, Sudha, undoubtedly, but does that make me hopeful? Not really. We don't have to be out on streets to begin with to demand something as basic as safety. We shouldn't have to be out on streets to demand our school girls be safely delivered to the school and be back at home. We don't have to ask for safety for women doctors who are trying to save lives in a 36-hour shift, trying to take some rest at the end of it and being molested, being killed and being raped. These are some basic expectations. We're expecting human dignity and we don't have to be out on streets for that. It's a shame. We say that we are the 5th largest economy in the world. We have a workforce participation which is equivalent to some of the best countries in the world. Women are increasingly being employed. Women are increasingly coming out. But if this is what it results in, I believe a lot of parents today, a lot of family members with daughters, with wives, with sisters will be cautious of sending, their family members out. And I think that sets us back in time. And I think that is something that we need to talk about more often. We cannot, if we cannot give women and provide women enough safety, I don't think more women can be expected to be out on streets, more women can be expected to be employed. So I think we need to really nip it in the bud when it comes to women's safety first. These protests are much needed, but these are protests that we don't really need, come to think of it, at this day and age.
Absolutely. And on that note, thank you very much, Shweta Kothari, for joining us on this broadcast. And now let's listen into what Maharashtra's Education Minister had to say about this horrific sexual assault. Listen in.
जो भी इंसिडेंट्स अंबरनाथ में हुआ बहुत ही बुरा हो गया है। हमारी पूरी मशीनरी एक्टिवेट हो गई है। हमारे जो हमने इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिए थे, आज मेरे डिपार्टमेंट में 4 IAS ऑफिसर है, सब लोग पुणे से, मुंबई से सब लोग इकट्ठा है। हमारी पूरी जो मशीनरी है महाराष्ट्र की एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट की, वो पूरी ऑनलाइन थी। मैं आपके लिए बात करने इसलिए मैं यहाँ पे आ गया, लेकिन 8 महीना पहले मैंने मीटिंग ली थी कि बच्चे सुरक्षित रहे, इसीलिए हमने सखी सावित्री समिति का गठन किया है। वो अच्छी तरह से काम करे ताकि अपने बच्चे सुरक्षित रहे। इसके बारे में मेरे क्लियर कट इंस्ट्रक्शंस थे। आज भी मैंने वीसी पे बोला है कि जिन्होंने ये समिति स्थापन नहीं की है उन पे कार्रवाई की जाएगी। हालांकि उनका दोष नहीं है, इस इंसिडेंट में दोष नहीं है, लेकिन ये इंसिडेंट उनके जिले में हो जाता तो वो दोषी पाए जाते। दूसरी चीज ये है कि हमने सीसीटीवी कंपलसरी किया है हर स्कूल में। यहाँ पे ऐसे ये हुआ है कि ये सीसीटीवी बंद था, तो हमने ये भी हम लोग एक इंस्ट्रक्शन निकाल रहे हैं, GR निकाल रहे हैं कि सीसीटीवी सिर्फ बिठाने से काम नहीं चलेगा, उसको ठीक ढंग से उसकी मरम्मत करना ये भी स्कूल की जिम्मेदारी रहेगी। इसमें जो 4 टीचर्स थे मतलब 2 टीचर है, एक हेडमास्टर है, एक क्लास टीचर है और 2 असिस्टेंट है जो बच्चों को देखती थी, क्योंकि वे प्री प्राइमरी के बच्चे थे, केजी जूनियर केजी वाले बच्चे थे, तो उनको भी सस्पेंड किया गया है।
And it's a wrap in this bulletin, but we are coming back right after this with lots more. The entire day, our focus is on how women are being assaulted in this country. Thank you for watching.
Joe Biden is not going to be the Democratic presidential nominee.
I made my choice. Kamala Harris. She's experienced. She's tough. She's capable.
I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
I am the one saving democracy.
He has tapped in to the fear and anxiety about demographic change in the US.
This polarization in the United States. Some people are even suggesting that there could be a civil war.
You are this unable to solve your own domestic problems. You have no right to claim to be anybody else in the world, and we're moving into a multipolar world where the United States will not lead.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Have not quite lived up to their pre-tournament billing, delivering a series of less than convincing performances. For 2 draws and a solitary win.
Your son will be Messi. No studies, just football all day. Go my son, go. Make my face shine through playing football.
Not only your face, but also the country's. I will conquer the world by playing football. Come, let's go to Germany!
World's largest football talent hunt, News9 Indian Tigers and Tigresses. In association with DFB Pokal, Bundesliga, BVB and India Football Center. Train and play matches in Europe. Register now and fly to Germany. IndianTigersandTigresses.com.
Fast, 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 fast.
My God, isn't she your daughter?
Yes.
She's playing football. This is boys' game. Make her study. If she doesn't get a good job, she will get a good match. Will you win the world by playing football?
Yes, auntie. My daughter will win the world by playing football.
Let's go to Germany.
World's largest football talent hunt, News9 Indian Tigers and Tigresses. In association with DFB Pokal, Bundesliga, BVB and India Football Center. Train and play matches in Europe. Register now and fly to Germany. IndianTigersandTigresses.com.
This was the kind of terrain that mountaineers basically climb on. You're talking of peaks of 15,000 and 16,000 feet. You have trouble breathing, the cold, the high altitude, the dizziness, the enemy staring at your face. And in some of those cases, the Pakistanis were not even expending ammunition. They were throwing rocks at the Indian soldiers. That's how close it was.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Joe Biden is not going to be the Democratic presidential nominee.
I made my choice. Kamala Harris. She's experienced. She's tough. She's capable.
I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
I am the one saving democracy.
He has tapped into the fear and anxiety about demographic change in the US.
This polarization in the United States. Some people are even suggesting that there could be a civil war.
You are this unable to solve your own domestic problems. You have no right to claim to be anybody else in the world. And we're moving into a multipolar world where the United States will not lead.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.